truth uncensored. My whole network viral. 12 and a half get you a quarterback. I got them shits flying like spirals. I like my truth uncensored. My whole network.
Today, there was actually a court hearing where, as you can see on the screen, people who will watch it later will see Eric Holder there in court. But missing was Chris Darden. Now, Chris Darden actually resigned, quit, citing the fact that he received death threats. He was receiving threats from different people because he stood beside Eric Holder. And we did talk about it. We didn't put the story out. We talked about his daughter also receiving death threats. But this was the last straw for Chris Darden. He is now officially off the case. He will not be defending Eric Holder right now. This is the breaking news, and this changes a lot. We talked about this, Sam, man. But what were your thoughts when you heard about Chris Darden no longer representing Eric Holder?
Well, there was a lot going on behind that. And when everything started dropping and we seen Eric or Chris Darden's name get dropped, we were like, whoa.
Right.
And a lot of questions came about on who paid for that retainer to get somebody like that, where'd that money come from, how long was he in, was the situation going on, and what's going to happen after. And we were looking forward to May 10th because we knew that was going to be an initial hearing. Right. Looking forward to see what Chris Darden was going to say in representation of Eric Holder, and he's nowhere to be found. And now we hear it was because of death threats. And the first thing I heard when I thought of death threats, I'm like, damn, there must have been some kind of death threats. Death threats that we can hear, or death threats that we could get on Instagram or Facebook or social media. Those that easy for you to just say no. Now I know that your family and things like that were getting death threats and things too, but I mean, they weren't getting that with OJ. You weren't hearing that before. Now I know we're on social media and it's different now, but what I'm trying to get at is, I'm sure this isn't the first time he had to deal with something like this. He's a high profile attorney. He's dealt with things like this before. Right. So now, because you're getting some, I'm sure they kind of crazy, but man,
it might be elevated.
I beg some questions.
Yeah, and we'll get into that, but just to kind of take a different approach. It could be elevated because everybody and their mama like, yo, we seen this dude on the camera do it. Everybody said, we still haven't seen the Marathon film or the T-Mobile or other stores film, but everybody close to Nipsey at the time said we seen him. It was him pretty much. You know what I mean? People are thinking like, why in the hell would Chris Darden defend this guy? What are you trying to do? It's just a publicity. Everybody was talking about maybe clout, looking for money and whatever, but we found out that he was, I think, worth $1 million or $2 million, his firm at least. So it's just like, a lot of questions do remain. This definitely changes the narrative a lot, but it probably could have been a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? People, his daughter, maybe his daughter could have been, because maybe with the OJ, I mean, probably wasn't around at the time, but or very young at the time, his daughter, it wouldn't affect him now. Now she's older. Maybe she got in his ear and said, Dad, this is a lot. Somebody convinced him, or as Sam Mann is going to bring into this, it could be something even more sinister about this whole situation here.
Well, I mean, and let's not get away from the fact that 100% agree with what you just said. The pressure was crazy, and he was getting a lot of backlash because of who in particular he was defending, and the type of backlash he was getting was very real. And it would beg the question: all right, are you already lost in this OJ trial? Why go and do this and just almost disgrace yourself in a way? Yeah. He might have been feeling that pressure. Okay, I can understand that a lot more. But he said, or a statement was out because of death threats. And when I think about that, and we all know what Nipsey represented, he was with the Rolling 60s, and I'm sure they were dropping things in inboxes and things like that too. I can't sit there and confirm none of that because I don't know. I'm just speculating. Right. But I'm also, and I don't want to sit there and go across the grain. I don't want to say the C word because we know how YouTube loves that. Yeah, they love it. I mean, could this be maybe some law enforcement involvement? Now, I know people want to say let the man rest, and we are letting the man rest. No disrespect on anything or no disrespect to Nipsey at all, but we got to ask questions, and I'm going to continue to ask questions until the investigation is solved. And one of the questions I have is the involvement of maybe the LAPD, because I mean, when I look at this situation and when we see the court hearings coming about, and we talk about the camera coverage like no other, do we have angles and things like that in 2019 to where we can see a lot more than we could see even in potentially or previously like a Biggie and a Tupac. Now, Biggie and Tupac, their murders 25 years later, some odd years later, are still not solved. And I told you right here on this podcast a couple of days ago that if this wasn't for 2019, Nipsey Hussle's his his case wouldn't be solved either.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a lot of questions, come to mind, because even we was like, how come they didn't put that videotape? That's just one of the like 10 things that's maybe even more than that that's out of place with this whole situation. Why not release that footage? Maybe it could be graphic, but I sit back and I think, no, they released a lot of graphic stuff before when the guy arrested the young guy Junior in the Bronx. They showed that. They showed a lot of stuff. They showed people getting, police things, and I ain't even gonna say the word. We know what happened with police and black men and whatnot. They show that footage. They showed pretty much everything else. So cars missing from the scene, stories not matching up, the getaway driver getting away, scot-free, not really even knowing who that really is. It was like one picture that came out. But usually when a picture comes out like that, what was funny about it is like everything else will come out, because now somebody knows it and somebody will say, okay, this is their Instagram, this is their Facebook. I know these person now information. Nothing ever came out, about that. So it's just a lot. And everybody was waiting for me to do the video I said I was going to do. I still got the clips, but Nipsey, had a lot of problems with the LAPD. You know what I mean? For a while, a lot. And I'll show that, when the time is right. I'll show the film and everything because it was recorded. But it just goes to show one day before, or a few days, they said that when he had a video shoot, he needed extra security. And then they said he was in fear for his life. And then you got the tweet that says having strong enemies, is a blessing. And then you have the fact that people try to say maybe that was the I forget the cat that he was supposedly beefing with, the blood guy. A blogger put out a story and pretty much debunked that and said, and it showed where he pieced it up with the blood set.
Right.
So it looked like he was about to shut a lot of money making activities down in Los Angeles. And then I know I'm going fast, but you got to follow me though, because it all goes together. Right. And then we found out his business partner says that he was working on something that wasn't going to just help LA, but every city. He was rolling out something big. So it just I don't want to throw anything out there, but it just goes to show you that I think that this is way deeper than what people are willing, to admit with this whole situation. It's starting to look like that now. And
only time is going to tell and further our theory in this, the more it goes along, because a lot of people in the chat room, the little comments I was seeing, and like you said, we seen Juniors in the Bronx. We seen that. As horrific as that was, we seen little clips that they shown already through camera and through phone of Nipsey, and even the graphic details that we seen in that. But if it's out there, they're going to show it. And the more and the less we see, and now we're going to see what's going on with Eric Holder. And because we kind of put into the angle of all this whole thing in the C word, Chris Darden played a big role in that. And what's the move he's going to make now? I seen a lot of people in the chat room saying that he could have took the case pro bono. Okay, cool. But you were trying to get
that happen. Yeah,
I doubt that
it didn't happen. He got paid. It was a fact they already showed. It was a private funding.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when was it? This theory is that his dad was paid and things like that. People so it's not far beyond a stretch of imagination. But I mean, you can't take out or take out the facts that this could be something more involved in the situation. And until we get all the facts and until everything is correct and until we see everything really properly laid out on the table, when you look at what that brother was doing, like you were just saying, not only in LA, but beginning to go worldwide, only 33 years old, really getting under his feet into this shit for real, having meetings and shutting things down. I mean, he's starting to dig in people's pockets and starting to shut down certain things that really make this country go along. And we know what that is. Right.
Yeah. And, it just goes deep, man. So, we would definitely, keep everybody updated on this. But now we do know that Chris Darden has removed himself. A lot of people speculated that he may do that earlier. But I thought that if Eric Holder had any chance, he would need Chris Darden would actually maybe work for him because, his expertise in knowing, the prosecution, especially there, he would have a shot. I don't think he stands a chance now without some type of high profile lawyer who who knows what type of defense, to put up. Now, I think he's pretty much at this point thrown to the wolves. If it was even, I hate to say this, but we don't know. We seen a blurry for somebody running from, we couldn't identify that person. We couldn't. That's just a fact in that video. Maybe if we just seen the other images, we could say, okay, that was him. So we just don't know. We're just going off who they saying it is right now.
Let me ask you this, oh God. Would this be very telling to you, or we'll find out a lot in who the next person to represent Eric Holder is going to be? So if his dad's pockets are as deep as they are, he's going to get somebody in there
That's good.
to
Yeah,
keep
good point.
outside of that public defender. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that it's going to be a situation? I'm asking you, oh God, and the people in the chat room. His dad's going to come back through, or he's just going to be shit down the river. And I mean, he's going to get hit up because the public defender basically is going to fry him. He's going nowhere with that.
Yeah,
he's done.
Yeah.
High profile attorney, it's a whole different conversation. So in the next couple of days, will it be very telling if he comes and gets a high profile attorney, or if he stays with the public defender? What does that tell you?
That's gonna say a lot as well. Also, another thing I'm thinking of, was there ever a weapon recovered? Was there? Did you ever hear about that?
No,
I never heard about that. You know, I mean,
shell casings.
I never heard of. So it's just a lot here, man. That I can't wait till it gets closer, so more information.
Getaway driver.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, man. Here that just remain. And then you got the C word, which we're not going to repeat here.
Hell no.
But then you got critical thinking. We're never ever going to be told not to think critically about a situation. I don't care how many people say what about this and that. We're always going to be thinking clear, thinking critical and concise to try to get to the bottom, of a situation. Because that's just what we do here.
We got to. It's only fair to people that are important.